Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? We're going to have a beautiful and soft and loving co-creation today, and a beautiful, soft, loving. Look at this really beautiful, gorgeous, divine creators in all things and in all moments. And that's what we want to focus on. We want to focus on what is the beauty and the awe of Source Creator. What is the beauty and the awe of who we are as the sacred script of the Creator, the sacred embellishment, the sacred embodiment of the Creator, and how can we live in that joy of softness and gentleness. And in some in our movement of the dance of Source Creator, all being source, and our vibration is what calls things into us. People, place, or things and circumstances, so that we resolve what those energy vibrations are. So in every new moment, we can choose, where have we been, who are we now, and where do I want to go? What do I want to co-create? And in all moments, we have that choice to really appreciate and soak within and surrender into the awe that is love, to soak within the beauty that is love, to soak within the majesty and the gentleness that is love. And that is, a vibrational quality that the Master Jesus always provides me in my connections and my entanglements with him. It's always that unconditional, beautiful, loving. It's a beautiful, loving transmutation of gentleness, because it doesn't matter what we're going through and what challenges we face. We can shift our direction to know that that's served me in this way, and that the relationship that it's held within me, but I choose to soften within the beauty of who I am as source, and it's always available to us in that ever renewing essence of who we are as the soul. To know that that soul light is infinite throughout creation. It really is. That soul light is what feeds you whatever it is that you need in that moment to reconnect your oneness with all that is spirit, and the beauty that is spirit in all things. And oftentimes what takes us outside of that is, again, in those reflection moments, to say, well, where was I coming from, and where did I, in whatever I've co-created and manifested, I can see that my beliefs and my experiences were this, because that's what I brought about because of those beliefs. Giving your power away to others, because and this is what a lot of the divine feminine, the rebalancing in our socioeconomic systems is all about, the disenfranchised. Their voices are important. All voices are important. All hearts and all souls and all paths and plans are important. But it's how we've defined it in our socioeconomic systems that allows us to say, well, in my growing up, these are the traditions and the roles that I was shown as the divine feminine. Therefore, when I'm out into the world making my own co-creative relationships, it's just natural I gave my power away to say that someone else's voice was more powerful than mine, or important than mine, or valued in my life's decisions and choices, or how things run in the minutia of our everyday life. And that's not true at all. And that's why each of us here healing that. Whether we give our power away to dogma, whether we give our power away to political systems, socioeconomic systems, we each have the beauty of who we are to come forward and make it beautiful. That beauty, that soft and gentle energy that is light, showing us, how beautiful is this light? It's just there, and it transmutes all things. It melts the snow and the beautiful life that it gives to all that is seeds of life. That light just offers its gentleness. It's there. It's always there. It's never pressing upon you in control and in judgment and demeaning beratement. It's always there as love and as joy and as beauty. But it's the systems that we've come from, the beliefs that we've come from, the perspectives that we've come from, even from within ourselves, and how we've allowed those energies to press upon the beauty and the awe that we have always been. We've always been beautiful. We have the beautiful rainbow energy that we hold within our hands, that we've always been, is that beauty that is source. We are the beauty of source, the awe. And how can we soften into the awe of source that we are? Be in awe of all moments of life, because you're creating it. And they were, showing me a vision of me standing on this beautiful castle balcony, like this beautiful princess looking out to all lands and all horizons, and showing me that I was on that balcony, and I get to choose, and we all do at every precipice of change. I get to shout to creation what is truly within my heart to make me joyful and happy, and sing the song that I am as a vibration. And that takes those moments of your life path, those minutiae, those journeys, those reflections, and to say, I'm at this new breaking experience, and this breaking experience will allow me to choose for myself and release the the ideologies and the conditioning of others people's needs and wants before yours to be this next journey. And it's really important that we do that. Otherwise, we're continuing the cycles of giving away our soul's power, our personality power to others to create through their greater will and need. And this is where it's completely changing, and how every aspirant on the path of awakening and ascension and enlightenment will move through that. You know, at what point do we choose to not just accept the mediocrity and the socioeconomic norms? Yeah, at what point? Everybody will move in their own temperament, their own pace, and their own speed, and their own natural divine outpouring of that. That's every soul's divine path to greater oneness. And you get to be that one on the balcony at those profound moments of change. And you can create ceremonies on this, you know, new moons and waxing moons, and just create those invocations of change, those invocations of being who you are and standing in the power of you, as beautiful and as elegant and eloquent as you are. You get to be that power of love and gentleness. There's, you know, they were saying to me the other night, you know, you know, I was showing them the indications of various experiences that I'd had over my life, and how constantly giving into the benefit of the doubt of others, and allowing yourself to be placed in situations where you're constantly getting taken advantage of, or constantly being, you know, we've all experienced these, you know, being made the fool of, because, you know, there's those situations where the kindness of your heart and the honoring of your kindness and your light and giving others the benefit of the doubt, and you can only get hurt so much before you just close down your heart chakra. And that's what so many children find out in their unique, you know, empathic and crystalline paths, where they are very intuitive, they are very sensitive, they are very telepathic, and they are very kind to the wanting of healing and goodness to all people. And that places them in vulnerability and energies where they end up just shutting down their heart chakra. And that heart chakra is what creates that gentleness, that tenderness of your reality. And make no mistake about it, they were showing me that gentleness and that tenderness is the importance of how you create your powerful reality. That's the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the life giver. And that's that gentleness, that tenderness, that nurturance of who you are, and caring for who you are in that nurturance. And you get to be this vessel of co-creation. You get to be this vessel of however vibrational energies you want to thread yourself with and entangle yourself with, and allow yourself to, you know, fully release, you know, in your healing sessions at full moons. Allow yourself the release of the past. Release the past dissonance and discordance of any relationships or energies held within those relationships and those karmic cycles, and surrender it fully to the divine for reorganizing and healing and restructuring. Completely release control. And it's when we release that control, and that's when we move into the full acknowledgement and acceptance of what that was and what it meant to us, and reflect upon it. Like, how did you get to where you are? What did you learn? You know, did you allow others' voices and others' wants and needs to be more than yours? You were in that situation because you gave your power away, because it was just easier to go along with it, or didn't want to ruffle feathers and didn't want to shake up the rug. And meanwhile, you're not happy. Your soul is not yearning to do what your soul needs to do. So how are you placing yourself on the back seat? How are you placing yourself on the back burner? Because if you're not satisfying your soul, your innate spirit, then the all will not be served. And that's the misconstrued energies of our past traditions and patternings and conditionings. They're absolutely incorrect. And they're stifling and stagnant. And this is how spirit, thank you, spirit. That's how spirit doesn't allow our expansiveness to be on that balcony and say, yeah, I'm no longer. My voice and my path and my spirit, my gentleness with spirit, my co-creativeness with spirit, the eloquence of who I am will be put on the forefront. And I will choose from this soul's perspective. And I will allow all others to be honored within it. But my soul's passion, my soul's truth must move in this way. And therefore all else will be served. Because then you're always knowing, even if you're going for a job interview, or even if you're getting food in the grocery store, is this nourishing my soul? Is this what my soul needs? Is this what my spirit needs right now? Am I honoring me first? And this is where those energies and those healings have to be done within lineage and within the patterning of all of our co-creative experience. disenfranchised, aged children. It doesn't matter how we define it and package it, remember, because those are the limitations that we have placed on it through our psyche's experience over time, if you will. But they're all to be healed now. And in that healing release, you can offer it to creation that says, from this pure loving state of wholeness and oneness and gloriousness of Source Creator, the awe of God, the awe of Spirit, the awe of the creators, the awe of all that you are, a Spirit. You are the embodiment of Spirit. In this pure moment, I choose to bathe and cleanse with the holy violet flame for the highest and greatest good, the highest outcome for all. And I choose to bathe it with the highest ascended masters, Lord Michael, all energies from all timelines, all realms, to bathe any of those discordances so you can truly release yourself and know that you have the power in this now to heal all past, present, and future. So that you can pave the way vibrationally and beautifully and in awe and in eloquence and in great elegance of your light, that I am the life giver of me and my path. I choose to paint my world with love. I choose to be the color of peace. I choose to create my voice of the importance of me. My voice is the song of me. It matters. My song is beautiful. My song is elegant. My song is about me with Source. It does matter. Above all, it matters for me. And that's how we all allow ourselves to align within the sovereignty of our highest Christhood. Because again, that light will always be called down. I'm reaching into the highest vibrations of light. I'm reaching into the highest codes that are given to earth. I'm reaching into the highest codes that my soul is able to call into. And I call it into my sacred heart. I open up all that I am as a beautiful mechanism of light with Source. And I allow Source to co-create seamlessly and gracefully through me. Because I know that it's all been a part of me. There's no judgment. There's no condemnation. There's no resistance. There's no repelling. It's all Source. This is how you reclaim your power. It has served its lesson. It's been a divine relationship with me. And I choose of the free will of who I am as a sovereign being to release every aspect and particle of those vibrations. They do not serve me anymore. And I choose to release myself from this karmic cycle. And I choose to close the door on it. This cycle is closed. And you can do a vibrational closing ceremony so that you can release those karmic energies and those karmic cycles that choose to no longer serve you and nourish you. And you can feel them vibrationally too. You can feel, if you have those relationships with others in your family, and oftentimes you don't even feel them or around them, but energetically can feel their energy pressing on you. And that's when you can choose of your own sovereign free will to allow the angels and the guides and the beings to assist you in pulling all of your vibrational threads and light and power back so that you can be a sovereign being of light for you. You have full mastership over your light. But we haven't been taught these things. We end up walking around with the guilt and the obligation of those patterns and the socioeconomic traditions that keep us steeped in stagnation and roles that don't even suit who we are. Nobody can choose a role and what it means but you. You choose your infiniteness of Source. And that's the sacred script of the divine feminine. We give ourselves life, infinite number of ways and potentials and possibilities, all moments. There's nothing that can define us. We are the embodiment of Source. And it's each person's unique path and temperament to step outside of that if they so choose, right? Everybody will have their different karmic lessons to learn, to clear that karma and say, from my divine feminine karmic lessons, this is what I choose. I choose to release and heal all divine feminine karmic energies that were subjugated. I don't have to fall into the roles that do not suit me, that do not feel good for me. I choose to reclaim my power. My voice does matter. This is how I choose to live in my beautiful energy and song of who I am, a Source. And it will take me wherever I choose. And I know that everybody will be served in doing so. And it won't be comfortable for anybody, and I'm okay with that. And that's up to them to resolve their issues about why they're not comfortable with that. Because that's going to also heal their karmic lineage about control, about subjugation, about being controlled, and all of those energies that it all comes from, because it affects everything. If we're never pressing out and creating that anew, then we're not giving those karmic energies closure. Those karmic cycles require closure. It requires you to energetically, vibrationally, mentally, emotionally, etherically say, done. This cycle is done. This story is closed. And it will be sent off for transmutation for all to learn within that cycle story, so that you can press out anew and call in higher vibrational energies and create a new cycle. And it fans out to a new divine relationship at a higher vibration because you're following your soul's purpose. Your soul's higher calling of your awe, who you are and awness of you. And if we're not honoring our awness, we're not honoring our voice, then we can't experience that. But it does take that we move through those karmic experiences and say, well, that really didn't feel good. I mean, I was placing everybody before me for I don't know how many years. I mean, I'm exhausted. I'm depleted in every way, financially, emotionally. It's, you know, and being taken from and being taken advantage of because I wasn't respected for the kindness and the gentleness that I was. That's not victimhood. That's now changing the story and saying no more. You know, you can still be kind and powerful. And I absolutely know through the gifts and skills that I've earned and I've learned that there will be no more taking advantage of, because spirit is with me 100%, not believing and giving over my power to others that don't have my best interest at heart. And we've all experienced those experiences. We're here to offer that to the children. You don't have to be taken advantage of. Stand in your power. You don't have to give your power away to those that honestly and with integrity don't have that integrity for you. They're looking out for themselves. And there's those games that they're wanting to play in those energy vibrations, but you can choose to stand in your truth and step outside of it. You can choose to say, I will not play games to the lack of integrity. And you can feel it. You can feel it before it even comes to you. That's why you can feel those energies of vibrations within families. And it's okay. And you can energetically be the commandmentship of you and start taking care of you, start taking care of your bodies and your fields so that it doesn't affect you in a negative way, so that you're constantly thinking about the pressing energies that want what they want from you. That's up to them to go and seek that within themselves and their energy field and their light field and their soul story, not to keep pulling and pressing on you, because it's just easier because you carry that great light. You carry the ability to manage and organize and bring grounded stability to everything. And that's okay. Everybody's learning, right? These are the minutiae we work through. Then everybody will have their breaking point where they say enough. This is a new story. I'm turning the page and this is my clean slate. And your teams will be guiding you every step of the way, because they'll be saying there's far greater for you to explore and experience. It's time for you to be happy now. It's time for you to experience joy now. It's time for you to step forward in being you first now. Don't let your joy be compromised because of these old patterns that are completely illusory. And that's just what's so funny about it. when we think about when we think about our reality, you know, and what we've given such importance to, what we've given to such credence to. They've said this to me so many times. We've given such credence and importance to things that are so illusory. You know, but that's the illusion of the game. That's the matrix, right? You know, how much importance do we give to things that don't feel good within who we are, right? Whether it's doctrine, whether it's, you know, having to follow certain rules and obligations because it serves other people. And that's when we give our power away, right? And that's why, you know, when I was a kid, I used to say in church, well, I absolutely know that when I'm out by a tree and I'm talking to the butterflies and all these insects and I'm talking to Gaia, I absolutely know that I'm in prayer. I absolutely know that there's no more God than that right there. I've got all God working with me. I've got the God of the planet. I've got the God of the insects. I've got the God of the birds. I've got the God of the trees. I know that. And when I was in church, it felt totally different. It felt contrived, you know, it felt manipulated, you know, by, you know, systems of process. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no judgment upon it. But each one of us has the path, has that soul's perspective vibrationally in every way. Make no mistake about it, because the physical is the matter that we create from the spirit. It all matters for us to say, I choose a bigger matter potential. I choose a bigger matter reality, a matter horizon. And I want to create that with my spirit. I can't do that if I'm in a box. It doesn't fit me anymore. And that's where listening to that inner voice and say, reflecting upon, well, how did I get to where I am now? What did I learn from that? What were the core issues of my soul's growth in that? And doing that weekly soul's growth journal, you know, set that goal, I don't like to say goals because then it returns me to my banking days, but just set that vibration for you, your soul's growth journey for that week. What does my soul ache to learn this week? And you can feel it vibrationally from the smaller minutiae that go on in your week. This is the week that your teams really want you to step up and take power of your voice. And you'll feel it, because you'll feel people, you know, stepping on you and trampling over you, whether it's just, you know, they get to choose what they want for dinner all the time, and just the little tiny things, those things add up, you know. And I used to do that all the time, because I was, in my mind, I was thinking, well, I didn't want to cause any, you know, any confrontation in the house. Well, no, your voice does matter. Confrontation or not, fix it, you know. I have the right to have that beautiful voice heard and nourished and respected and honored and valued and appreciated and, co-created with. Where is our thought patterns if we're not being valued to be co-created at the highest level? And that's when you start entwining with those perspectives of, yes, that I am higher. I want to call in these higher vibrations, and I want to call in those tribes that will assist me in nourishing those higher vibrations that I absolutely know I'm being pressed towards. Because again, it's coming out of stagnancy. How much suppression and, things that we're coming from, and our excitement to break into new. And that's what's really the awe. The awe is in the excitement of you. The awe is in the blessedness of you. The awe is in the embodiment of you. And it's all purposeful. It's all beautiful. It's all in awe. Because you can't get to those points of profound epiphanies of who you are with source, that awe-ness. We can't get to that until we've traveled those painful paths where we've given our power away to those that didn't simply have the same integrity or the same depth of love and care for you because of their own minutia. And that's okay. There's no judgment. There's deep love and honor in all of it because we've had to play those roles for one another. And in the highest of realms, we're all one. Our spirits are all together dancing for the lessons we're teaching one another. But that awe comes from that moment where you say, okay, well, now I choose a new blessed story for me. I want to create and I want to explore me as a new awe. Because I know I'm beautiful. I am sacred. I am sacred. Ain't no mistake about it. I'm sacred. Dang, I'm sacred. And I'm going to bring it. I will bring it. And I've brunged it many times. I have brunged it. I will. That beauty. Fairies, the gnomes, everybody's dancing with me. Every unicorn collective, every Pleiadian, Syrian, Arcturian. It's time for me to choose from the awe of who I am, my new story. And it will be about what creates joy for me. How may I get excited about who I am? How may I bring great laughter and happiness to my experience? And I look back and it's like my teams were kind of saying, well, how much happiness and joy have you experienced in the last 50 years? How much of joy is a factor in your everyday life? Or are you placating to the whims and the needs and the imbalances of others? You've done the work, you've offered the light, you've offered the healing, you've offered the processes on how to do things. Now what? You can keep playing the healer to everybody and they're going to keep pulling on it from you because they know that you can and they can. Or you change the cycle and take your power back and say, this is a new reality. Get used to the new me. I don't guts to keep giving, especially when there's those that are not aware of it, awake of it, and don't appreciate it or care for it. At some point you got to say, I value me more now. I love myself more now. I deserve a higher love now. My love for me is more now. Learn the lessons. Time to close the door. Chapter closed. Cycle closed. What's new? But sometimes those paths are so drawn out because they're connected to not just this lifetime, but 100 lifetimes. That subjugation of the divine feminine role is hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years. It's not easy. So be gentle with yourself. In those moments that you think you want to change things in the house so it suits your freedom of who you are as creative source being, take those little tiny steps and celebrate yourself every day and speak your truth in a loving and elegant way that serves you so that your new beautiful story of who you are as source comes through and be heard in a gentle and loving, and you're infusing light and gentleness and tenderness as the divine feminine, and the divine masculine also serving their divine feminine energies. It's okay for the divine masculine to feel into those soft and gentle honorings of who they are as spirit. They must to balance themselves out. You cannot move through ascension without those balancing of the male properties, the female properties of energy. One cannot. You cannot be egocentric in 5D. That's why you move through 3 to 4 to 5D. You cannot be. Because you understand it absolutely affects the all and it causes great trauma. And you can only experience that for so long before you say, is that serving me anymore to cause that trauma and pain to others in living in an egocentric experience? And everybody has their own temperament and soul's path for it. There's no judgment, but everyone has their unique purpose to say, I don't want to play those games anymore. I want to learn through love. I want to learn through the beauty of who I am, and spirit will carry me there. in a soft and gentle and beautiful and elegant way. Thank you, Spirit. The oneness of love and the diversity of who we are. So we are the diversity of all that is love. And these are the sacred scripts brought in from the Divine Mothers and the Sisters. Thank you, Divine Holy Mothers and Sisters, a group that I've been a part of, bringing great wisdoms and great healings to earth. And one of our most ancient tribes and traditions, where the Pleiadians, we had come to land on planet Earth in the earliest tribes to give higher wisdoms and higher infusions of the expansiveness and the beauty of Source. And you are allowing yourself to become and honor yourself and get to know and to study and to seek and to inform and to be that co-creative experience of sovereignty and oneness and allness and the diversity of all that you are as the embodiment of Source. And I want to go back and say this again because it's really profound. And it is the entryway, it is the portal, it is the door to sovereignty for each individual soul, and must not be reliant upon any other person to be that. One cannot, if you have mentors and if you have coaches and anyone that you go to for higher learning and higher guidance, understand that every aspirant's next leveling up will be that of one within and one with Source. And it can only be gathered in that way. Because every mentor and every coach and every person that offers you guidance will always say, it's time for you to go within and take that next step by yourself, on your own self with Source. Because that creates codependency between the guidance and the coach and the mentor too, which every master has to detach from. Because otherwise you're allowing those codependency threads and giving your power away to what others say above you. And that's not that's why we've offered in all of our offerings. We merely offer these sacred musings of vibrational Christic energy. Feel into how it feels for you. Be your own highest judgment. Be your own highest mentor with Source. Always return back within. How does this feel for me? Does this feel right for me? How do I want to co-create in this now that I know this feels good for me? And those moments where it doesn't feel good, what just happened there? Why do I not feel good about that? And stop everything and go within, and then journal, write it out and sort it out. As soon as it, don't let anything take more precedence over that. Because that way you stop it exactly where that cycle started, and you get off that karmic and you start anew. Instead of letting it perpetuate and then the next day you go to it, meanwhile 3 or 4 things have continued that cycle of energy. And whatever you feed energy to just keeps continuing, and it grows in that vibration. And again, remembering why each and every one of us are accountable and responsible for what we feed energy to. What focus, attention, and intention are you giving your energy to? And each person will have their own unique soul's plan and blueprint, and their souls and their teams and they're guiding them to and through that process. Because you begin to learn that what we thought was important, as our entire collective is seeing, just as we go through a new version of leadership, and politicians, we've seen what was value. We've gone through that experience, what was really important to us, and what occurred, what brought us to where we are right now. Where do we want to go? What choices and what level of study do we want to be within ourselves to know where I'm going next? And it must be from that place of, wow, I really want to feel myself as being joyful again. I want to be joyful with others. I want to connect with others that want to be joyful. I want to be in that happy place. Why do I have to feel like the tromping grounds and the sponge for everybody's, negativity and things that they're sussing out? No, I don't have to be. I've done. It's time for me to get on with being joyful. And I'm just speaking as my own unique specific path, because everybody, of course, has their own unique path. But in my 51 years, there's going to be probably a book that I'll write about the memoir of my life. I came here as a crystal and as a light being, and the Pleiadians had come to adjust my chakra field and my heart chakra when I was 5. Because of the dynamic, dysfunctional energies and experiences that I had agreed to experience, so that I could clear 51% of my karma for my lineage and for myself and for the divine feminine collectives that I belong to, for not just this universe, but the multiverse, so that I could bring new light programs in at a multiverse perspective at this very important and very special time of humanity's ascension. Because as I said to you before, that multiverse perspective they were showing me, Earth is about, our universe that Earth belongs to is about to move up into a new universal experience. And part of the codes that I bring from a multiverse perspective help in the assistance of that. And why my gifts are unique, my gifts are treasured, my gifts are special, and why it's important that I do follow my joy and I do follow my bliss and I have the excitement of me first. because then it fills and it serves all others that are connected in a family blueprint with me. If I am not following my soul's excitement, if I'm not following my soul's bliss, if I am not following my oneness with source, in whatever way source guides me, my higher guidance with source, that source guides me. When I am guided by spirit, when I'm guided by my higher self and my soul, if I am not listening to this, I am not following my highest path. And it will end up in stagnancy and trauma and damage and trauma, because that's ego. And ego wants you to stay safe and small, because that's all it knows. Cycles of karma. And those threads keep going back and forth until you are ready to say, no, I want to be beautiful. I want to shine my light in a beautiful way. I want to be and own this for myself and not give it away to anyone and anything, because it's me. It's an illusion. That's what's just so crazy about it. It's all an illusion, right? You got to own it. My light is whole. I am whole. I am a master of wholeness. I have great diversity in all that I am a source. There's great beauty in who I am. There's great ownership of who I am. I have a bright song. I have great purpose. I'm calling in the angels. I'm calling in the fairies. I sing with spirit. I will create special vortices. I will create special blessings of spirit through the beingness of who I am, through the elegance of who I am, through the blessedness of who I am as spirit. That's the divine life giving. You know, when the children are, you know, when we all take our children to play at the park and stuff, and we just let them go and just say, go be free, go have fun. That's source. Not stuck in the dramas of all others and what's important for all others. No, what's important for you? Where are you going to start? Who are you going to be today? Who are you with source today? What makes you feel good? What makes you get out of bed and just start dancing? Always return to self. Always return to your goal of who you are. That essence of who you are is joy and excitement, is you, the awe of you. What does the awe of you feel like? And you will always innately go back to creative experience and expression and exploration. We cannot know who we are without creatively exploring, expressing, and experiencing who we are. And by going through what doesn't feel like us, what doesn't feel good, what causes that pain and what causes that growth experience, that growth learning, you know, as all traumas and all challenges, they're all suffering is temporary. It's all temporary. It can be transmuted in a minute. It really can. But how we've suppressed it and collected it over eons stays in the emotional field and the mental field and the akash, and that's what causes those feelings of great sadness and depression, because how we are living in detachment of the emotional body and expressing the emotional body and experiencing the emotional body is so unbalanced, and why it feels the way it does. But those deep emotional wounds can only be held when you're fully releasing an emotional wound. It can really only be held for 1 to 2 minutes. That's it. Then it's gone. You know, and then you open up to great new packets of codes, great new packets of life. I call this in now, because as you release, you're clearing up that energetic space, you're enlivening your cells, you're calling in that greater light, you're being that breath of source, you're creating greater awe. I call in greater codes. I'm going to be my song today. I will be this. And you follow it with an I will, I am affirmation, because you're building in that new sense of self. And that new sense of self changes as you continue your awness and continue your embodiment of source, that beauty of who you are, source. Because in a lot of those experiences that we've come from, because we've given our power away, because we've been in such imbalance and dysfunction of mental and emotional and physical etheric situations that are, like those tug of wars, they pull on the purity and the integrity of our sense of self. So then it's up to us through those releases, we get to now choose, what is my new sense of self? How do I really feel? And that will be a feeling experience. When I feel that purity and gentleness with Jesus, that's my purity of essence. That's my essence of me. That's me. And I pull on that vibration. This is what my new sense of self is. It's always been this, but it got really clouded amongst the other energies that I gave more importance to. And I tried to fix, and I tried to heal, and I tried to rebalance. I tried to bring stability to. Your sense of self gets warped and depleted and imbalanced because you're overgiving. You're not calling judgment. You're not creating those boundaries. You're not calling standards for others to stand in their own accountability for what they're co-creating. And that's always giving the responsibility of the all, the greater good. At some point, we need to step within our own pillar of light, the big boy and girl pants, and say, yeah, I'm going to create this for myself. There's no more blaming, no more shaming, no more guilting. Those are old energies that truly deplete the awe and the shine of everybody involved. And they're so steeped within our society. And this is where we're getting out of, be that sovereign being of experience, be that sovereignty of who you are. And it's always, you can choose when you're doing this awness of who you are with source. It's always pure and clean and sure and pleasing to you. That you'll feel that. You'll feel it in the center of your body. It's like, oh, that's right. That's how Jesus feels to me. That's how that vibration of the Christ feels to me. That essence of who I am building, my new awe. My new color of me is built on this vibration. And that's that recreating of the embodiment of self. That's really, that's up to each person to feel into what's important and what's sacred for them. The sacred self, the building of the sacred self, the building of that sacred dynamic, that divine relationship with you and source. And so I offer, our website will be up soon. I always have them busy doing illustrations for me. I've got some illustrations coming out this week to understand the integration of the soul through ascension, you know, in the fields that we work with. So, and that's looking at it from not only the release of the density and the aspects of us that have, you know, been those suppressed and depressed versions of ourselves, but the positive and the higher vibrational integration of who we are, and how to visualize it and honor it in a multidimensional perspective, so that again you can start to begin that sacred development of who you are, the sacred soul growth, the sacred soul perspective of you. And that's what we offer in our classes and our global webinars and our private sessions. So please feel free to email me if you want a private session. Many of my clients that I have private sessions with, they've been with me forever, and they've been with me for years, and once a year and every 6 months, they, you know, we do a catch-up clearing session, and, you know, just bringing great expansiveness, because we're all connected on these other councils and groups and other dimensions and other timelines and other worlds. So it's a really great community that we've been creating for one another. And I appreciate all of my clients, and I love you so much for staying with me and being a part of my growth and my changing, because I need you to help me press out and open up to energies and experiences that I wouldn't have done so without my client appointments. So my clients are always my greatest teachers, because they provide me that energetic platform through which the higher councils and the higher guides bring these beautiful sacred scripts to life, and I'm able to see and create experiences for myself that I don't get just with me. And that's again the beauty of divine relationship. And how we bring it back into our families and really create that oneness with each other, to know that all of our challenges and our traumas to be respected in each soul's plan, to allowance is what we're going to talk about next, the allowance in the 3 phases of A's through the ascension process, to acknowledge where you're at and how you got there, the acceptance of where you're at and how you got there. Because if you can't accept it and all the parts you've played within it, then it can't be released and transmuted. And then the allowance of whatever will be. So allowing yourself to know that the highest aspect of you, God's going to come and bring in as soon as you transmute what, through your acknowledgement, through your acceptance, you're going to allow something greater to come in. And that's just the natural process. You don't have to fight for it. You don't have to, you know, like some of the old manifestation energies are just so mentally, exhausting. No, you just acknowledge your place within it. You acknowledge what you've learned from it, what you got out of it, and really seek within that study of that acknowledgement. Acknowledge every part of it. See it from all perspectives. See it from all aspects. Then accept it. Say, I accept this is real. I can't control it anymore. I don't want to fix it. I don't want to control it anymore. I release it to source. I'm releasing this in the divine relationship of appreciation and gratitude. I accept fully how I feel within it. I accept my my co-creative energetic experience within it or not. Sometimes you're just previewing it. Sometimes you're just an outside peripheral experience of it to gain the wisdom to see it from all angles and to help others, you know, navigate and negotiate energy and who they are becoming as their soul's greatest. And then allow whatever will be to will be, because you know that your higher self and your soul will always reach for something greater. It will always reach for something greater, unless you're working through, again, releases of self-sabotage. But then that will always allow you that part of, well, why do I keep self-sabotaging? And then you go back to the drawing board. I acknowledge myself within it. I accept myself. So how can I allow myself a higher vibration of higher knowing of who I am as source? That value, honoring the value of you, will allow you to step out of self-sabotaging programs, because you don't feel you're worthy because of whatever programs you've been brought up into and belief systems that you're taking on that have been taught to you or brought to you or ingrained in you. It's always about self-worth. Self-worth will take you out of self-sabotage. your worthiness to walk with source, your worthiness to be loved, your worthiness to stand in your own light without anybody else around you. You are worthy. You are worthy of the blessings of source. You are the flesh and bone of God in awe and representation of the sacredness. So that's the divine script, and we see the bells. How beautiful. So grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. We are the embellishment of God. We are the embellishment of source, creator, the all that is, the spirit that is, the gentleness, that song that's always playing in our creation. A gentle song of beauty that we get to tune into and tap, and we get to infuse who we are within it. We get to say, okay, source, I'm infusing myself, I'm opening, I'm allowing myself, I'm acknowledging myself as beauty within this. I'm one with you. I acknowledge myself as the greatness that I'm able to walk with you and be with you and co-create with you. I acknowledge myself within this. And most of all, I accept myself. Radical self-acceptance. I'm allowing myself to be accepted as the fullness and the joy and the light that is source. I am in awe of who I am. I accept this awe. Right? Not just playing and putting on a mask to say, yeah, I accept this. No, be the acceptance of it. Accept all parts of you. That's shadow work. Accept all parts of you. It's what gets you to that bright shininess. Got to accept it all. Not separate yourself from it. Not condemn, not judge and berate. Accept it all. That's how you get to forgiveness. That's how you get to that self-compassionate state that says, I accept who I am. And some of it wasn't easy. Some of it wasn't pretty as you're, on the floor banging. What the heck? I've been there so many times. Dark night of the soul has hit me more times than I can count. And why the memoir of my life will be, pretty awe-inspiring. I've seen more in this lifetime than anyone can imagine. And when I see, multidimensionally, the vibrations and the lifetimes that I can see and feel into, not only with me, but from others as well. And what source allows me to always remember, no matter what forest, no matter what jungle, no matter what you traverse, there is always light. You will always be the seeker and the finder of light. That is one of my soul's purposes. No matter what source created, the Holy Mother and the Holy Father, the creators of all that is, my soul's promise that I will always bring and find and seek the light in whatever situations I will become within. And why they know that of me. They knew that of my soul. Even as I was pounding on the ground, like, what the heck? How much harm and pain can one person go through? Because I knew that even in those moments, I can pick myself up and I say, source is here, light is here. And I will rebuild, I will rewrite myself, I will recreate myself. I get to recreate from the damage and from the breaking. That's where that beauty is. To say that no matter what, you walk in the desert for 40 years. Why? Because the cycles of transformation have to occur, and it's not a short overnight process, right? The perspectives have to change, and it's that minutia of, okay, where have we been in this cycle? Who are we now? Where do we want to go? What do we want to become? And you get to choose at that soul level, and every choice will be respected and honored. That is sovereignty. And if it's not, it's just going to come back as karma, if you try to resist it and fight it and control it. And that's what source shows you every time. The path is so easy. They've said to me so many times, it's so easy when you surrender into your magnificence and the awe that is you. Just surrender. Stop fighting it. Stop resisting it. Stop trying to downplay you. Stop trying to make your light be little. Stop trying to dim to fit in. Just surrender into your greatness. Release the programs, release the control, and shine. Shine. Be shiny. Shine. You each have the diversity and the embodiment that is God. Just shine. Live simply as love, and it will come back to you as love. You'll have everything open up to you. Love is the all. Love will provide abundance. Love will provide health. Love will provide soul tribe. Love will provide new homes. Love will provide the most exciting and miraculous experiences that you can imagine. You don't have to figure it out. Step outside of the ego and be spirit. Love spirit. Be the awe of you as spirit, the song that is love. We are the sacred shepherds of a new dawn, and that is the exodus to new lands and new potentials. And we say exodus in the 5D experience, not in what it was written about. We say exodus as you're standing on the balcony of the infinite. You are it. You are that expression, that is that beauty, that is that elegant song, and you can create. This is where we're at, 5D, pressing out to new divine light potentials from who you are as spirit. Be that embrace and that embodiment of love, of joy, of sacredness. And then you get to create those new lands that you get to step on. You are paving that, like we said earlier. You are that beautiful painter and that carver of your path. And I choose just to bless everything. Bless it all with love. Transmute it all. Send the highest violet flame to those energies of discordance and dissonance and lack or shame or whatever it was that you're feeling that held you in those karmic cycles, or energies about who you are. Send it all light. And bless it all, bless it all, bless it all, love it all, love it all, love it all. When you open to the acceptance and the allowance of love being within it all, it's all source, then you give it its freedom to be transmuted and released. It's not playing that heavy cycle of that energetic pull that keeps pulling you back. It has no pull over you. The past has no pull over you. You are not your past. You're giving its vibration because there's unresolved issues there. And that's why it keeps calling you back in. It's not resolved. Resolve it. Own it, resolve it, and close it out. You get to close it out. I get to close this cycle out. I get to choose from my highest state of free will. I'm one with source. I choose to close this out. It is not who I am anymore. I'm this now. I am this vibration of elegance. I am this vibration of joy, and I get to choose for me. I get to be the blessing of me and share it lovingly, joyfully. You are the embodiment of the infinite. Be this in vibration. Be this in thought. Release who and what you feel holds you in disarray or confusion or lack or blame or shame. You are the embodiment of the infinite. We are the embodiment. We are matter that we've called through spirit. We are spirit, soul, essence. Our soul, our spirit, higher self essence has put the body together in the matter that we are. Every day we are put back together new through us, through who we are, through our commandmentship. And are we honoring that and being lovingly commandant of it? We can create ourselves new in every new moment and create those spontaneous healings if we know thyself as source. We are the embodiment of the all, the shine of sheen that is source creator. Be the vibration of this infiniteness. Be the vibration. Every moment I'm infinite. There are no ceilings, there are no walls, I'm infinite. Thought, word, emotions, all that I am, I'm infinite. I am the song of source. I'm an infinite harmony. I am the infinite harmonization and song of source. I am a harmony of infinite light. Therefore, I affect all things that I am, my reality. As I change who I am, the reality itself changes as well, because I am that song of pressing out light. I allow it. I honor my voice in it. I honor my chakras within it. I honor how I choose to move about in this infinite song that I am of source. Be this vibration. Be the thought of vibrational infinite. So how our thought forms, you can call that light and have all of your mental field, that mental thought field, the lower mind become the higher self coming in alignment. Call in my higher self through thought, through word, through deed, how I behave. I'm calling in and living as my higher self. I choose higher vibrational thoughts so that I move about in higher vibrational ways. And that comes from feeling the awe of you. Remember, if you're feeling in awe, if you're feeling in joy, if you're feeling in that excitement of the beauty that is source, you're going to create higher beautiful thoughts. You're going to create that higher beautiful, that map, if you will, where you get to project yourself into. And release who, what you think holds you back in disarray. If you're feeling in disarray, then get to the source of why. Are you giving your power and your energy away to something that just doesn't serve you anymore? And you can just choose to release it and let it go and walk away. You can choose how you ever want to experience yourself through the learning of that transmutation, because it must be transmuted, right? And it can be transmuted in an infinite number of ways. You can call people in, counselors, and can do whatever comes up to you in your teams as you're reflecting. But when you're in disarray, that's the best moment for you to say, okay, where am I now? Where would I hold myself accountable? How can I choose now from my highest self? Creating that sovereignty, self-empowerment. Who am I as a sense of self with source? And then I get to, there you go. And releasing the confusion, the blame, and the shame, and the lack, because again, those come from programs and patterns, and everybody comes with them. We all come with them, to varying degrees, again, on what you're willing, what your soul's promise and contract is to how you're affecting the collective. The greater the imbalance, the greater the steeped, trenched belief patterns are, the greater that you're affecting as you transmute them. Make no mistake about it. If you've come with great disenfranchisement, You are a powerful master and co-creator, and you show many others how to transmute it and be that collective, the elastic band, and jet forward on entire collective when you heal that density, especially density through conformity, subjugation, dogma. All of those are karmic energies that keep us in de-evolved states of soul growth, soul degrowth. Actually, you're not growing at all, de-evolution. So when you clear that, you affect everybody. You know, that density is just rippling through the divine relationship. Why it's so important that every moment we stand in our soul's truth, our soul song. This is important for me. I must follow my spirit. I must be a spirit. And it's important for me. And it's okay if it's not important for other people. It's okay. Have that be okay. That's acceptance, right? You're detaching yourself from what you thought you were connected with. It's an illusion. I don't have to be obligated to feel their discomfort of my choice. No, that's their job. That's their role. Release the responsibility. And that's where many of us have come from, dysfunctional, families and childhood, because we felt responsible for how everybody felt. No, you're not. That's their role. They're responsible for their life choices and how they feel within them. That's how they learn and grow. So detach yourself from that experience. That's not yours. You're only responsible for how you feel. You're only responsible for your soul's circumstances. So press out and learn from that. And we are, again, the shepherds of the new dawn. We are the sacred shepherds. So how can we be this sacredness and shepherding all that we call in sacred as we're standing from the balcony? I'm calling in. I'm saying out to everyone that this is my sacred voice and my song. I get to be beautiful. I get to shine my light. I get to be that essence of who I am for no other reason but just to be joyful in me. I want to feel happy. I get to feel happy now. We are meant to be happy. We are meant to be in joy, and we are the co-creators of joy. We're here to show the children there is something better. There is something more rich. And it begins with who we are as being in awe. The blessing. That's so amazing. You get to shout the greatest dream of who you are. You are the vessel of co-creation, the beauty that is source. How can we look at every moment as the beauty of source? Every moment is beautiful. Every moment is source elegance. Make no mistake about it. Source just isn't there when you call source in. Source is always source, always omnipresent, always omnipotent, always, always source. Our reality changes when we choose through our hearts to purely entangle with it, through love, through compassion, through us being joyful and being us, for no other reason. This is where many, will move through the exploration of spirit, the exploration of energy, as we become ever more in understanding of the right use of will again, and why we've talked about it so often, because this is the experience that many are learning and understanding. To own their own sovereignty is to use their own right use of will. If you're allowing yourself to be in right use of will for yourself, you will absolutely see it be in the leadership of you with all others, because that's where it begins. Are you using your right use of will for you? Are you allowing and accepting and acknowledging it for all others, and not pressing your experiences upon others, or saying that it must be done this way, or controlling it, or pushing an outcome, or forcing an outcome? That's where the teams will constantly remind you, let go of control. You cannot control this outcome. There's an infinite number of people that are involved in this. You can't control it. And that comes from those other timelines where those occurrences did happen. And the ego, the psyche, wants to control those outcomes. And that's where we're learning to let go of the lower mind. You step into the higher mind and you just release and let go. Source is, source will, source is. And it's always from your pure intent. If you're from that pure heart and intention, the greatest good for all, the highest outcome for all, I pray for the highest outcome for all, I pray in the highest outcome of all, then thy will be done. You don't have to control the minutia. You can't. You can't. Ego cannot control spirit. Wasn't meant to. Spirit is spirit. Who is ego to think that it does the job of spirit? Let go and allow God to do God's job. Your higher self, your soul, your spirit guides, all the teams in the heavens that are working on your behalf. You have no idea how many councils and beings are with us in this ascension. To understand, to learn, and to honor the diversity and the respect of all life, the honor of all life, the right use of will. That is the honoring and the respecting of all life. All are valued. All are purposeful. All are in awe of God. All is God, source, creator, the spirit of all that is. There's nothing less than and more than. All is spirit and source and sacred and beautiful and honoring of. It's so amazing, so incredible. I'm so excited. So ride the cosmic wave, dear ones, ride the cosmic wave. Let go and trust. You are beautiful. You are in awe. And how may you come to this now moment and say, my voice is beautiful. I will appreciate the awe of who I am. I will seek the beautiful things that are God in all moments. I will seek the beauty in all beings that are God, because I understand that all is source. How may I entangle in this beauty and elegance of who I am, who I choose to be, how I choose to project the energy and the light of who I am as the fluid song that is source creator in beauty and in joy and in sacredness. All life is sacred. And in that, dear lighted ones, namaste. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Be shiny. Bye.